Hi, it's Jen. Today I'm going to do a part 2 of a mini file folder. The other day I did a file folder video using our envelope punch board. Now I had a couple questions on Junk Journals chat group about how you can do it if you don't have a punch board. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to make it, and I hope you stick around because I do give you a couple hints of what you could do to make it quicker. So we're going to start by cutting a paper 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. The size is the exact same as if we use the envelope punch board. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put your paper up against your scoreboard, the 5 1/4 inch side, and you're going to score it at 2 3/4. Right now we are going to work on the 2 3/4 side. So you should have a 2 3/4 and a 2 3, no, sorry, it's 2 3/4 and 2 1/2 inches. But we're going to work on the 2 3/4 side, and that is the back of your file folder right here. So we are going to be making the tab spot right here, right now. So what you're going to need is a ruler and a pencil. And then what we're going to do is we're going to measure over 1 3/4 inches. And then we're going to measure down 3/8 of an inch. Right here. And then what we're going to do on the bottom, the 2 1/2 inch side, we're going to measure, starting on the left, 1 5/8. 1 5/8, and then 3 3/8 of an inch down. And there we go. And then now what you can do is you can either use scissors right now, or you can use a paper trimmer. And so I'm going to do my paper trimmer. So I'm working on the 2 3/4 side, and what I'm going to do is I'm cutting out the right hand side of the paper. So I'm going to go down 3/8 of an inch and then cut this excess off right here, starting from my dot, because remember we measured over 1 3/4, so now we're going to cut the rest of that off. I like using this paper trimmer because you can see the wire there, and you see exactly where you cut. And some other paper trimmers, I can't really see where I'm cutting, so I make so many horrible mistakes. Well, I still do it. I still do with this one, but not as many. All right, and there we go. And that's what your piece should look like right now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut out down here on the 2 1/2 inch piece. Now, the thing to remember is here's your tab right here. So you're going to cut out the right side, and now you're cutting out the left side. So we're going to do the same thing. We measured over 1 5/8 of an inch and 3/8 of an inch high. So we're going to cut that rectangle out as well. So I had a hard time getting this video done today. I don't know if you folks, every time you want to do something, things go wrong. So I do apologize for that, but I hope this will be useful to you. Alright, and there we go. And there is our cutouts. Now before I put my trimmer away, what we're going to do, so up at the top here, the 2 3/4 side, this is going to be our tab. We're going to put the paper where the blade is, and we're going to cut an angle right here. And the angle just depends on you, how deep of an angle you want. And again, it's just trial and error what you like to see. And there we go. So that's what I have so far. And I'm going to do the same for the bottom. I'm going to cut out starting from the corner and across. And I know right now it seems like it's, and there we go. It seems like it's taking a long time to do this, but once you start going, it does move pretty quickly. And so I'm gonna get we're gonna start with our 2 3/4 inch side first, because this is gonna be our tab. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna corner round the top left with my 1/4 inch corner rounder. And the corner rounder is not going to be able to reach in here, so I'm going to use my scissors and just round that corner myself. The best I can. Now, this doesn't look the greatest, so what I do is I use my emery board just to make it look better. Here we go. And just smooth out to make it look better. And there we go. I'm okay with that. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to work down below. And what we have to do is the right hand side is a little high. So if you turn it to the back, I'll quickly ink it, just in case you guys, it's hard to see. There's a little bit of excess right here, so we're going to cut that off. That happens if you use your envelope punch board as well. And I keep my file folder closed just so that way I have a guide of where to cut. Okay. And that's it. That's our file folder. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it so you can see what it looks like. I know things can be seen better when it's inked. So I'm just going to sand this down a bit. I don't know why I'm having issues there. And that's what you can do. Just tweak it to how you like to see it. And there we go. I'm going to just quickly take my scissors and cut that to make it look better. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and ink all around. And another thing too, before you start changing any angles, ink up all your edges, because I don't know about you, but I always find when I ink my edges it looks better. It doesn't look... And there we go. And that is our file folder. It doesn't look as bad as we think it does once we ink it. So I'm going to bring this one over, and this looks pretty close. The angle's a little different, but it's pretty close. So now I know what you're thinking, that if you have to do this for everyone, it could be a little tedious. So what I would do, and I'm even thinking about doing this for myself, is you get a spare piece of paper, and you could just line it up. This is not a very good one. I'm sorry, guys. I'll quickly cut myself a piece of paper. So I cut myself a piece of paper, the exact same size as you had before when you started making them. So 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. You do score at the 2 3/4 mark, and then now it's just tracing. And then now you do need to be mindful where your score mark is, because if you don't, your file folder will be off. So the 2 3/4 mark, I'm going to put the top of the tab to the right hand side, right up against the top. And then I'm just going to trace it. And that's it. So if you're not wanting to take, if all of this just seems daunting, make yourself a really good stencil, one that you're happy with, and if you're not, just keep on tweaking it until you're really satisfied, and then use that as your template. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna thinking about doing this because it's so much easier to do than doing all the other steps. especially if you need something really quick. It's just easy just to quickly trace this. And a lot of the straight cuts you can use with your paper trimmer, but I'm not going to bother here. Just going to quickly cut this out. And so that is my solution to the problem of what can you do if you don't have a punch board. And so that's what one thing I would do. And you still have a little bit of stuff to cut at the back when you trace it out. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to quickly finish this. That way I can use this in a journal. And so that is my solution, is make yourself a good template with this, the measurements that I gave to you, and then just make something really quick, and then you can have something to trace. And so I do hope that you'll give this a try. I'm sorry, all that time I was talking, I was looking for my emery board because this doesn't look the best. My cutting has not a very straight cutter. And there we go. And so that's my solution. Make yourself a template and then trace it, and it's super easy for you. And if you don't want to bother with any of that, today what I did is I made a file folder. And all I did with this is I cut a rectangle, and the measurements are 3.5 by 4.5. And then I scored it at the 2 1/8. And then it's just a rectangle, and then I just put a tab. And I think that looks comparable to just a normal mini file folder. And these are fun because they can all be different. So I encourage you to give the one that we just did a try and see if you like it. And if not, you can just do this, because I think this is just super cute. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this answered questions that there was, and I hope this will be able to be a quick project for you to do. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you give it a try, and don't forget, don't throw away your junk. Let's journal with it. Take care, guys. Bye.